everyone. I'm gonna spill all my secrets of. Oh, look at what a mess I am. Okay, I'm gonna spill all my secrets of what worked and didn't work in 2016. Now, this was like a big learning year for me in my coaching business. As many of you know, I owned a floral design business and I started this coaching business. And this is if you in any way are looking to transition to own an online based business that is solely where you get your customers and do your work entirely from your laptop, say, it is a beast of a different kind. It is totally emotionally, just so many feelings that can happen when you start an online business. Now, this could be true for some of you that own a wedding based business. There could be so many different emotions that happen for you in your first business. So when I went through that, there were different emotions when I started my floral design business. And then when I came into this business of totally online, it was a huge, enormous learning lesson that I had to go through. It was just, everything was just totally different. Like, there was a lot of mindset stuff, money stuff that I had to deal with. Sometimes a little bit easier if you're a photographer, floral designer, calligrapher. Actually giving someone something, like saying, this is a tangible product that I have for you, is like, it's a lot easier, I think, in a sense, than saying, I'm going to give you education and teach you stuff and hope that you really take this and learn from it and then you use it. It's just like your mind can't like wrap itself around that. Like you really can't like kind of come to terms with, oh, I'm giving you something and it's not tangible. Right? So these are all my lessons that I learned in 2016. If I take you all the way back to January, in January, I had really just started. Now, I really tried to start this business, no joke, in 2015. I remember it was around, oh my God, it was like in February of 2015. I had tried to start this business and I couldn't. I took a group coaching program. It was like $1,000. And I really didn't have this idea figured out of exactly how I wanted the business to look. So I took the group coaching program. I was still running my floral design business. And I was like, why can't I just start this business? Like, I own a successful floral design business. It's growing and doing great. Why can I not just start another business? Like, what is so hard about this business that makes me not do it? Like, that makes me avoid every single thing in my body wanted to avoid doing this business so bad. So that was when I had tried to get out there. Eventually what happened was I started doing a workshop. I did like a workshop locally around here. If you guys ever want to teach your services, your photography, calligraphy services, we had a school here that's called like an adult continuing education school. I applied for a workshop there, said, hey, I started a wedding business. I sold, the wedding business also included an Etsy shop. So I said, I can teach some stuff about Etsy. And they were like, sure. And that was where I first had my like first thing that I would say associated with my coaching business, my first workshop. So I had that workshop, and then I invested with another coach in the summer when I was running my floral design business. Still didn't have anything really come from that. Maybe 2 months later, I did a course online, and it did fairly well. I started to get people that were starting to follow me and liking my page. And at the time, everything was all around Etsy. I thought like, oh, Etsy would be the thing I focus on because I had an Etsy shop with my floral design business. So I had did this course on Etsy, and then come January 2016, so we're starting right at the beginning of the year, and I was like, really like, something's got to change because this is like, I don't know what's going on with me, but I cannot like get it all together. I had finished my wedding season. My floral design business was picking up. It was doing great, but I didn't want that to grow. Like I had some things happening in my coaching business. I was getting more of a following, the course. So it was also starting to pick up some momentum. So what happened was I had to make a decision of where my focus was going to go. So in January of 2016, at the end of it, I decided that I was going to sell my floral design business and solely focus on this business and do whatever I had to do to make it happen. If nobody was going to buy it, then I would just continue on building both companies. So what happened was I sold the floral design business in February. At the end of February, we signed the papers. And that was kind of the catalyst for me actually going into the coaching business. So let me already start with what worked in 2016 and what didn't work. I'm going to start with what worked in 2016. What worked? Hiring a business coach, because I was so fucked. Like, I really was. I was just so, like, mindset wise, I was grabbing for so many different things. I was thinking that I needed this before this, and I need this, and I need this. And I was just so scattered. Like, when I look back now, I was just so totally scattered and unfocused. Of course, I wasn't going to make as much money. I was doing like 800 different things, and I didn't even know who I wanted to serve or how they were talking. And it was just so crazy to me. So my business coach helped me to stay focused. She told me whenever I would veer off track, and in our coaching time together, I definitely veered off track. She would say, like, Shannon, come back. Let's come back. And let's, like, focus on something. So I was like, she was the best thing that by far I've ever done. She kept me focused. She told me exactly what I needed to do. And without her, I don't think I would have hit my $7,000 a month. No way. No way. And it didn't happen, like, within 2 months of hiring her. No, it happened, I think, 5 months. We're coming to the end of our 6-month coaching package together. So I didn't hit this, like, $7,000 month until we were a good 5 months in. And it was just pretty recently too that I hit it. But by far, business coach was the best thing of 2016. Number 2, really working on my mindset and my money stories. I resisted the mindset stuff. So whenever you hear people talking about, maybe they talk about manifesting money, maybe they talk about, positive thinking, or maybe you hear people talk about The Secret, or they talk about things of having a better relationship with money. Manifestation is really popular. And that was something I really, really resisted for so long. If any of you guys know my story, you know that I just totally resisted it. And I can't tell you exactly why. I don't know why I resisted that stuff. I don't know why I resisted doing the work around it. I had this idea that if I just knew marketing and if I just knew sales, that was all I needed to succeed. And that's not true at all. At all. Okay. Mindset and money stuff. I worked with, I took a couple programs. She has a membership program. Her name is Kat Laturzo, and she primarily focuses on money stuff. So I'm in her program still. It costs me like $197 a month, and it is so totally worth it. To break down all your money barriers and mindset stuff. And she's definitely a different way of teaching. She is like in your face, just do the work kind of way. And I really enjoyed that. If you want to do some other money stuff, Get Rich Lucky Bitch is another good program or another good book to read. So I got really clear around why I was fighting with myself. And a lot of it had to do around that I had beliefs around if I did make a lot of money, this is what was going to happen. And those beliefs were wrong, but I was believing them, and I really had to clear that up. Once I did that, that was when I was able to hit bigger months, okay? Software was another, software is like my biggest expense that I have in my business right now. I use things like Acuity for scheduling. I use things like Zoom. I mean, there would be so many little pieces I would have to pick up on if I wasn't using software. So software by far was like some of my favorite pieces just to automate everything. People get reminders. I schedule my social media on Mondays. It's just flowing, and I use Hootsuite. I mean, software is amazing. It will like save you so much time. Just invest in some software right now if you need some automation. Do it. Okay. Also, my podcast idea, I really resisted that. I feel like I've been saying resisting, but I literally resisted so many things in my business. I really resisted doing a podcast. I remember I actually launched the podcast in September with the help of my business coach. Probably wouldn't have launched the podcast without her either. And I remember I had recorded 3 episodes for the podcast, still not sure what the idea was, in around March. And then never did anything with it. I maybe made a logo in like April, never did anything with it. It was like the same shit. Like I was so scared, well, people, what are they going to want me to talk about? What if I'm not a good podcast host? What if the sound quality is terrible? I mean, there were so many what ifs that were holding me back from just fucking doing it that I just did nothing. So because I didn't do it, I literally just did nothing about it. All right. So lesson of 2016, just fucking do it. Okay. Also at the beginning of the year, I had, if you guys heard the beginning of this live, I had no real idea of what I wanted to do. I literally had no idea of who I was going to serve, how I was going to serve them, what it looked like when I served my audience in 2016. So here I am in January thinking, so before you guys even met me, I was thinking I was going to serve Etsy people. I was like, I'm going to serve all people who want to start a shop on Etsy because that's where my floral design business started, with an Etsy shop. So I was all about like, just fucking do it. Okay. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to serve Etsy people. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do that. And as I got 2 clients and they were both wedding people. So I was super excited that they were both in the wedding world and they both had Etsy shops. So we worked together, and then I was like, you know what? I really like serving people that are in the wedding world. So let me just change, kind of adjust it a little bit. And let me adjust and go with like wedding people, and let me see how that happens. So if you are resisting doing something right now, something in your business, and it's because you have no real clear idea. You can't say exactly who the customer is. You can't do the ideal client avatar. You can't say, if she goes to yoga class or what she's like, where she's buying her groceries from or whatever. It's okay. Just fucking start. Like, just fucking do it and just fucking start somewhere. So start with like, I have experience doing this, or I have experience, doing this, so I'm going to start here. And it's okay if your business changes and grows. That's great if your business changes and grows as you do. But the biggest thing for me was focus in 2016. Focus is it's okay if your business changes and grows, but you're focusing just on this business. You're not going out and starting like 4 other businesses because I don't know my client here and I'm really unclear, so I'm just going to go start another business and start another business here. Oh God, please don't do that. Don't do that. I even had hiccups in my business doing my coaching business where I was like, yeah, maybe I'll start this virtual assistant, like connecting people with virtual assistants at one time. And all that was fear of me showing up and thinking, oh, this coaching business isn't taking off as fast as I thought it would, so I'm going to give up and I'm going to start another business. So listen to when you have fire alarms going off that are like, oh, let me start this, and let me start that, and let me start this. Just stay focused with your business. If the clients change, it's okay. Let it change, let it grow, but don't start doing 800 different things, all right? And focus and foundation go really hand in hand, okay? I wanted those $10,000 months. I wanted those, like huge paydays. Now, technically, I did have, you can say, a $10,000 month. It was way over $10,000 when I sold my floral design business. But I wanted a $10,000 month in my coaching business. I saw all these other people doing it, thousands of coaches doing it, and I'm sure you see other wedding professionals saying, I'm booked out for 2017, I'm all booked out, and you're like, fuck, why not me? Like, why can't I be booked? So what I would do is I would go back and say, like, do you have a foundation established right now in your business? And a foundation in a wedding business can look like, do I have a general idea of the client I want to serve? Am I creating content? And then am I sharing that content? Foundation for you can also look like, depending upon where you are in business, it can look like, I need to get my mind right because I'm kind of scattered. I need to work on my money blocks because I want a lot of money and I'm not getting any. Foundation in your business can look like, maybe I just need to do one thing consistently for 30 days and that's it. So I would say, give yourself a foundation. Let's not try to do 800 different things at once. You don't need a sales funnel if you don't even have one client. Okay, like, don't skip, don't pass go. What do they say? Like, yeah, don't do that. That's kind of crazy. So I said before, create content and share it. That's like a real good foundation. Do something consistent for 30 days, like create content and share it. Okay. And this was my biggest lesson of 2016. After I fixed my money blocks, I started to think bigger. Okay. And like, when I say think bigger, I wanted those $10,000 months, right? Like, I wanted to make $10,000, in my business in 1 month, but I was literally only asking for, like, I only had coaching packages that were, $450. And I didn't have an email list of 1,000 people. I had an email list of maybe 100 people at that point. So it's like, I mean, yeah, I wanted $10,000, but I needed to think bigger. I needed to receive. I needed to ask for more. And like, if I didn't have, I didn't have like any way of making that $10,000. I just wanted $10,000. And I didn't have any real way of making it. So it's like, if you want to make, for example, if you want to make $10,000 and you only have packages where I can only do, one wedding a weekend, and that's that's $8,000 right there. Say if you booked one wedding every single weekend, that's a way for you to make $8,000 in 1 month. But you're still only making $8,000 and then you're maxing yourself out, right? So it's like, if you want $10,000, actually set up the steps for how you're gonna make that $10,000. So another example, if I wanted to make $10,000 in my business, but I am talking to you, Christine. If I wanted to make $10,000 in my business and I only had a list of 1,000 people, and this is a good fact for you to know, email lists convert around 3%, okay? I know the video is getting a little choppy. It'll come back. Okay, so email lists convert around 3%. You know, it's down on a conversion of 1 to 3%, okay? So say I had an email list of 500 people. I wanted to make $10,000. I can count on that list converting. Terrible with math, guys. All right, so I had an email list of 500 people. I can count on that list converting to 15 people at most. If I'm selling a product that's only $97, okay, I'm only going to make, if at most, the 3% buys, I'm only going to make $1,455. And if I'm spending all my time on this $97 product and I only have a list of 500 people, but I want $10,000, it's like, you're not going to fucking get it. You're not going to get it. You don't have the foundation in place. Or maybe you just need to think bigger. Maybe you need to sell higher price point stuff. Okay, so like when you say, oh, Shannon, I want this much, but you have no plan in place, then you have to like really break it all down and see what you really need. Okay, all right. So that's what I really need to do, because I did that stuff all the time. I was like, yeah, I want this much money, but I can't have it. All right, guys. So I'm going to create another Facebook Live of what didn't work in 2016 for me because my battery's dying on my phone. So I'm going to go charge my phone. I'm going to do another Facebook Live of what didn't work, which I'm sure you guys are all going to want to hear because I made a lot of mistakes in 2016. I did a lot of things right and made a lot of mistakes. All right, everyone. So think bigger, set the foundation, work on your money and your mindset blocks, and just fucking do it if you want to do something, okay? All right, bye, everyone. See you soon.